While you can technically use Windows XP in 2025, it's not recommended for everyday use due to security risks and limited app compatibility, especially for sensitive tasks or online activities. Windows XP is a very old operating system that was released back in October 2001, and Microsoft ended support for it in April 2014. It's best suited for specific applications that don't run on newer operating systems and hobbyists. In this video, we will explore whether you can still use Windows XP in 2025. Very few people use Windows XP today. As of February 2025, Windows XP has a very small market share of 0.29%, so only 1 in 300 traditional PCs are running Windows XP. Some individuals and organizations may continue to use Windows XP due to the cost and complexity of upgrading or replacing systems that rely on it, such as ATMs, medical equipment, industrial control systems, military computers, and point-of-sale systems. Certain medical equipment, diagnostic tools, and software for ATMs and point-of-sale systems may only be compatible with Windows XP. In the past, Windows XP was a very popular operating system, but its market share has declined as newer versions of Windows have been released and users have upgraded their systems. Windows XP is well over 20 years old, and Microsoft has not provided official support for Windows XP, including security updates and technical assistance for over 10 years. Windows XP reached its end of support on the 8th of April 2014, so any new vulnerabilities discovered will remain open to exploitation. This makes using a Windows XP PC for online activities risky and impractical. Microsoft ended support for Windows XP because it became an outdated operating system which newer hardware and software couldn't efficiently support, and it became more and more vulnerable to modern security threats. By ending support for Windows XP, Microsoft could allocate resources to newer versions of Windows. Unlike newer versions of Windows, Windows XP does not have built-in antivirus protection, so you will need to use a third-party antivirus to protect a Windows XP PC. Most antivirus software, including Bitdefender and AVG, stopped supporting Windows XP years ago. While you won't be able to access any new features, you may still be able to get virus definition updates to help identify malware and other threats. Antivirus software is not tested on Windows XP, so updates are not guaranteed to be free from any unexpected issues. While antivirus software can help remove malware on a Windows XP PC, it will still not address the security holes in the operating system itself, so it can only go so far as to protect you if malware is designed to take advantage of any vulnerabilities. There may be clever ways for malware to sneak past antivirus software, so you will need to be careful and vigilant when using a Windows XP PC online. Since Windows XP lacks the necessary drivers, system requirements, and security features found in newer versions of Windows, almost no modern apps developed today are compatible with it. Apps like Google Chrome and Opera stopped supporting Windows XP back in 2016. You will need to use older versions of browsers like Chrome, Opera, and Firefox, which may not be compatible with most modern websites. Modern websites often rely on newer web technologies and features that may not be fully supported in older versions of browsers like those from 2016, so you may experience issues, like websites not loading correctly. Older browsers may also contain security vulnerabilities that have been addressed in newer versions, making them more vulnerable to malicious attacks. Firefox was one of the last browsers to support Windows XP. In June 2018, the last supported Firefox release was launched for Windows XP. No further security or feature updates have been released for Windows XP, so even using Firefox would require you to install a much older version of it. You can also consider the Supermium project. It's designed to support older Windows versions that are no longer supported by Chromium, including Windows XP. Since the browser is run by a very small community rather than a large company, it's not as safe to use as the latest versions of Chrome, Microsoft Edge, and Firefox, but it's still worth trying it out. The lack of modern security features and system-level updates makes Windows XP vulnerable to viruses and malware. If you use Windows XP, it's best to use it in an offline environment to minimize exposure to online threats. If you need to use Windows XP online, we recommend that you only browse trusted websites and avoid sensitive activities like online banking, online shopping, and entering confidential information. Even with these precautions, Windows XP is generally unsafe for internet use in 2025. For optimal security and compatibility with modern apps, you should consider upgrading to a modern operating system. Since most computers designed for Windows XP are over 20 years old, they probably won't meet the system requirements for newer versions of Windows, like Windows 10 and 11, meaning they won't run smoothly. Even if you can upgrade, newer versions of Windows are much more demanding than Windows XP and will lead to compatibility issues, a very slow system, and system crashes on older hardware. If you need a modern operating system for a Windows XP PC, you can consider using a lightweight Linux distribution. If your computer could run Windows XP, it's likely that it can also run a lighter Linux distribution, such as Linux Mint, as they are designed to run efficiently on older hardware. If this video was useful for you, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to receive notifications whenever new content is posted, you can click on the bell icon after subscribing.